10864. Stations your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck. Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Their competitors, they'll want to put the O on.
Three, got it!
We're going to compete to a standard every day.
The Oregon standard.
Rebound, tap it in! 1 point more to go!
The opportunity to play, put Oregon on your chest, should mean a great deal to you.
Unloads on one into left field, back toward the wall. Gone!
This program is staged to compete and to win championships.
Oregon wins!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, let's talk Oregon athletics.
Oh, we've got a lot to break down today. Oregon men's basketball with a big win over Arizona. Now, what does that game do for you? Well, it keeps you on life support with a postseason resume. It's just one game. Now the Ducks have to stack some of those games together, and it starts with a quick turnaround tomorrow, 7 o'clock on Pac-12 Network, a 6:30 pregame show here on the Oregon Sports Network. And actually, for Tip-Off Tuesday this afternoon, we'll have Chuck Martin and Folly Dante from the men's basketball program, Chance Gray and Kelly Graves from the women's program. I will be doing the open to that show with Terry Johns, and then I will be driving to the airport. Quick turnaround for Oregon men's basketball, and I kind of feel like, this is just me, I haven't asked any of the coaches this, I kind of feel like that's a good thing. After a big win over Arizona, you kind of have that adrenaline rush, and then there's a little extra adrenaline because it's a shorter turnaround. It's a quicker road trip. I think that's a benefit. I think the schedule works out well for the Ducks in that regard this week. And I got to tell you, so the poster series, the Game Day poster series has been awesome. Various students from the College of Product Design have been putting together a Game Day poster, and the Oregon-Arizona one was prophetic, wasn't it? I mean, if that poster doesn't have the same energy as in Folly Dante, channeling his inner Freddie Jones, I mean, holy cow.
Ball tipped out to the perimeter. Ducks have another possession. Kusnar to Biddle. Now Soares on a handoff. Into the lane. Bounce pass. Dante. Slam. Good find. Ducks steal it in transition. Dante to the bucket. What a poster slam! And Folly Dante intercepted in transition. Took it in. Poster slam. Dante firing up the crowd himself early.
I don't think I've ever been so excited when it was 4-2. But that was the energy in the building, and the poster was prophetic. I mean, that was just fabulous stuff. And in Folly Dante, the Ducks run that in practice all the time. And then when Kirk Riso was just a little bit slow getting over on defense, that was a poster. It all started, by the way, this great win, with a 7-year-old absolutely belting out the national anthem. I'm telling you, she was outstanding. And so we should have known what was coming. I mean, the entire bench was smiling, jumping up and down during the national anthem. Ducks brought out all the stops, and, well, it went Oregon's way. And I said this coming into the game that, in fact, I even said this to the voice of the Wildcats, Brian Jeffries. Like, you're going to know which Oregon team is here at the under-16 timeout in the first half. When Oregon has energy early, like they did at Utah, like they did against Arizona, this Duck team is difficult to beat. Now, in that Utah game, Khalil Ware hit a 3 early, and I think that really jump-started the team. In this Arizona game, Dante throws down that vicious slam. That really jump-started the team. But the defense also was impressive. 51 deflections from the Ducks in the game against Arizona. Coach Altman said their goal was 40. They had 50 plus. You know which team you have at the under 16. And it's a little bit of chicken and the egg. Is it the offense that generates defensive intensity? The energy gets up because you're hitting shots? Or is it sometimes that the defense leads to the confidence on offense because you have energy? Sometimes it's both. I think that's a symbiotic relationship between energy at both ends of the court. Either way, that was fun. And Folly Dante made my job fun on Saturday. I didn't have a voice at the end of the game. Good problem to have. Good problem to have. We're going to talk a little women's basketball coming up, too, after their split, and then they've got the Beavers coming up on Friday. And then, of course, the men with that quick turnaround, a little bit of a report on what to expect at Cal on the way. But you also know that things are going your way when Jermaine Couisnard, who played spectacularly, you also know that things are going your way when Jermaine Couisnard throws a pass that wasn't ultimately a pass in the stat book.
Oregon a chance to take the lead. Lob ahead. Dante. Oh! Couisnard tried to lob it to Dante, and it went in. Ducks lead 21-19.
So, I mean, you know. And you know what's funny? I didn't see that play make the rounds on social media. It wasn't on SportsCenter. It was Dante's dunk that overshadowed everything. But I love the fact, and I don't know if any of the camera ops got a shot of this, but Jermaine throws it, and then he turns around, and he looks at the bench. I'm sitting broadcast location right next to the bench. Jermaine turns around, and he just kind of goes like, just like smiles, shrugs his shoulders, and you know that things are going well when plays like that happen. And Jermaine Couisnard ultimately 27 points, 9 of 14 from the floor, and 6 of 9 from 3. Here's a basketball oddity that I truthfully did not know. That's a 3 in the stat sheet for Jermaine Couisnard in my book. But I actually think, technically speaking, it's supposed to be a team 3 because he wasn't intending to shoot, right? It was a pass. So I think it's like a team rebound. It's supposed to go on the stat sheet as a team 3. I know this because the official scorer, Mark, at the scorer's table had mentioned that, and I kind of thought, well, that sucks. That should be a 3 for Jermaine Couisnard. It would be the team would get the point. Scott's asking, like, who gets the point? Well, it's like when you look at the total box score, there's always a team at the bottom, and there's usually like 4 rebounds. So, like, if a ball deflects out of bounds, it's technically a rebound for a team, even though there was no individual that got the rebound. Right? Like if Arizona tips the ball out of bounds, it's a team rebound. That sort of a thing. So, yeah, I honestly, I didn't know that. And, well, in my book, it's Jermaine Couisnard got the 3. I actually think in the official stats it ended up staying that way. But I thought that was an oddity, and I did not know that. Did Jordan Brenner know that? He's in the studio today. Yeah, it's a Jermaine Couisnard 3. Yeah. So we've decided on the Oregon Sports Network that basketball rule, we're interpreting it this way. The Ducks are up 6 at halftime, and the rebounding was the reason why. Oregon was like, well, it felt like plus 1,000 on the boards against an Arizona team that came in 4th in the nation in rebounding margin, best in the league by far. The Ducks had a 26-12 advantage at the half officially. And then the Wildcats, Ramey, hit 2 threes to tie it at 43 coming out of the locker room, and it was like, uh-oh. Here comes Arizona. But Oregon ended up going on a 10-0 run to pull away, and then they never looked back. It was a huge win. Some of the highlights, and it was always a good time, and I wore my Bill Walton socks in honor of him being there. It's always a good time when Dave and Bill are in town. And I want to tell a funny story. I was talking to Bill at shoot-around. He yelled at me from across the court where they sit at the TV table. We talked a little bit. And I made a joke about how, you know, in my line of work, I just am really trying hard not to say something stupid and get fired. And Dave Pasch pipes up and he says, well, Joey, I think you're in the clear because Bill's been trying to do that for 10 years and he's still here. So you hear him on the air. I just want you guys to know a little bit of this is what happens off the air with Dave and Bill. In any case, the highlights from a huge top 10 win for the Ducks.
It's going to be a 40-minute fight. It always is against these guys. If our best ain't good enough, I'll live with that. But our best is good enough. We don't even need our best. We just need our hardest, our toughest.
Couisnard driving and gets the basket. Steal it in transition. Dante to the bucket. What a poster slam. That'll get the crowd on its feet. Finally, Dante playing like a Kivalage. Into the paint, pulls up, hits, and one. Richardson. Inside, hello, where? Slam. He steps into it, and he hits it. A season-turning win for the Ducks. Oregon knocks off Arizona, 87-68.
So you heard me say as part of the post-game celebration there that it's the season-turning win. Well, I continued to say that it could be the season-turning win. Now the Ducks have to get up for a game like at Cal on a Wednesday night where there's going to be nobody in the building. Now the Ducks have to get up for a game at Stanford that I said heading into the season scares me because it's after a long road trip. You're in the Bay Area for an extra day. The routine is off a little bit. Student athletes, coaches, creatures of habit, like all of us. That 8 o'clock tip at Stanford, it's a lot of sitting in your hotel waiting for a game. The Ducks have strategies to avoid those sorts of letdowns, but going into it, I got to say, I thought that game could be a scary one. We'll see how things go this week. Quick turnaround, though, coming up. Oregon, Cal, 7 o'clock on Wednesday. The Wildcats, I do want to say, came in averaging 86 points per game and 50% shooting, both best in the Pac-12 and top 5 nationally. All the analytics tell you that Arizona, coming into the game, was by far the best offensive team in the Pac-12 and maybe the best offensive team in the country. They're top 5 in top 3, really, in every category that matters. Wildcats also averaged 20 assists per game. Ducks had over 50 deflections in the game, held Arizona to 38% shooting, out-rebounded at the Wildcats by 10 at the end of the game, and held Arizona to 14 assists. Now, that number for some teams is still pretty good, but 6 lower than their season average. No assists. That tells you how the deflections really impacted the game. And Folly Dante was great. 22 points, 10 rebounds, another double-double for him this year. Jermaine Couisnard, 27 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Wow. Ducks went with a little different starting lineup, different lineup down the stretch. Good stuff. 6 straight home win against Arizona. Oregon's 8-1 at home against Arizona in the Pac-12 era, and have won 8 of the last 9 overall meetings against Arizona. The one loss was the 3-point loss after Will Richardson got banged up at the end of the game in Tucson last year. Excuse me. Great game. Now you got to go on the road and keep it up. We'll look at some of the standings and the rankings when we come back here from Coach Altman, Jermaine Couisnard, and Folly Dante. And also Tip-Off Tuesday today. We had Folly Dante here in the studio this morning. We walked through the entire dunk and what it's done for him over the last 48 hours. And Dante, true to form, well, we'll save that for Tip-Off Tuesday. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota's got 20 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action, and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/22.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Dear winter, Toyota's got 20 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action, and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/22.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
I found hope in the midst of an overwhelming situation.
Alcoholism is a disease that can affect any family. Everyone suffers, but there is help and hope at Al-Anon Family Groups.
Al-Anon gave me my life back. I'm a better father and husband.
Are you in an overwhelming situation because of someone else's drinking? Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Local and virtual meetings are available. Maybe one could work for you. Call 1-866-200-0033 or visit alanon.org/hope.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for children and teens. Hospital and doctor visits, prescriptions, shots, and more are covered. That's peace of mind for parents if a child is sick or gets injured. And parents may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if they've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit InsureKidsNow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Dana Altman, Jermaine Cousignard, and Folly Dante, Quincy Guerrier all met with the media. Post-game, we've got that for you coming up. But now the million-dollar question. How many games is it going to take? Well, where things are at in the rankings right now, Oregon is number 68 in the net. You got to be like in the 40s to be in the conversation. Now, the Ducks did make some progress. They're 10-8 overall. We'll see. Oregon's 4-3 in conference. Ducks are tied for 5th place with Arizona, but have the tiebreaker there. So what's it going to take? Well, I think you got to go on the road and win in Berkeley and win at Stanford because Stanford's just bad. They're 0-7 and 5-12. Overall. Cal's 2-5 in conference and 3-15 overall. They're not good. Then you're back at home. I think you need to avenge a loss from on the road to Colorado. You need to beat Utah again. And if the Ducks do that, win their next 4, then they would be going to Tucson the first week of February. Then let's have that conversation of what's it going to take. We'll see. Coach Altman meeting with the media after the game. You can imagine, I think he was pretty darn happy after a top 10 win.
What this group is capable of? Are you more glad that it showed up or agonizing at times that it took?
Oh, both. I mean, you know, our consistency has been really shady throughout the year. So, no, I'm really happy that, you know, we performed the way we did, but also disappointed. But you saw the difference that Jermaine and Key made, you know, being able, but the energy level overall from everybody, you know, Nate helped us get a good start. Dante was phenomenal tonight. You know, we had 50-some deflections. Heck, we haven't even got close to that all year, you know, so out-rebounded by 10. The things that we've got to do to be successful, beat them in every category: points off turnovers, points in the paint, second chance, fast break. So just a different ball club. You know, we were bad the other night, and we were good tonight. And I don't want to take anything away from Arizona State because they just kicked our ass. But you know, we were different tonight.
Where did that energy come from?
Well, I hold pride. You know, I'm disappointed in our maturity and the fact that we can't do that every game. Our discipline to do it every game. But, you know, talk to them about, you know, who are we? You know, what do we want to be known for? You know, this is what we've always done. And so, again, it was just a great effort. But the guys really responded, and, you know, they showed their competitiveness, you know, played with tremendous energy, and the crowd was great. You know, there were a lot of factors, but, you know, when Dante made the steal and the N1 play, that's the most electricity we've had in our building, you know, and so we've got to give them something to cheer about, but the students, the fans, you know, were really good.
They have more of a freedom, though, to cut it loose. I mean, now this is like the first week you've had probably all your anticipated regulars available at the same time. I think you had played 9 guys less than 4 minutes in. Could you say to the guys, could they understand?
Well, we talked about that. I think we had 2 or 3 fouls at the halftime against Arizona State and didn't even come close to guarding anybody. Yeah. So, all you guys are acting like you're going to play 40 minutes and you're afraid to touch somebody. If we foul, we foul, but we're going to have to play a little bit. And so I thought our physicality was a lot better tonight. And you got to be physical with them. With those 2 big guys inside, you've got to be physical with them. And so I thought our physicality was better.
As much as you guys scored 80-plus points, how impressive was your defensive performance?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, like I said, we made some baskets, but we get 15 fast break because we get some turnovers. We had some second chance points because we were going to the boards. And then Jermaine throws one in from half court, or 3/4 court, whatever it was. And he goes 6 for 9 from 3. So, all those things change, how your team looks. But I thought he and Key made some mistakes, but he played hard and gave us some energy. And, Waldo did a nice job, defensively. So, I thought we had a lot of good performances. And, Key had 5 assists. Will had 5 assists. That's those 2 guards, getting some assists really helped us.
You said tonight was probably going to be a late night for the staff, and then you had to get back to work and hopefully see a different team. Can you maybe walk us through what the last 40 hours or so were like for you and everybody else to kind of coax this?
Oh, don't sleep, and get up Friday morning and just take off down Interstate 5. I didn't know if I was going to stop or not. I couldn't sleep, so made it close to Roseburg. But, just trying to think, clear my head. What do we got to do to get them going? The staff's great. You're disappointed in yourself when you can't get a team to play hard. That's, as a coach, that's your first responsibility. And so it just drives me nuts and bothers me the most when we don't compete. We've played bad before and lost games, but our competitiveness can't be what it was Thursday night or the previous Thursday night against Colorado. I mean, that's just not basketball. That's not what we want, what we can have. We can't tolerate that. That's non-negotiable. Can't have those kind of efforts. But how do you get that across to your team? And it doesn't do any good for my staff to know it. Me bark at them. It doesn't do us any good. How did we get it across to your team? And I knew yelling and screaming at him wasn't going to do it. So, we just talked about who are we, challenge them a little bit with, when we've won. We're about, when we hold people under 70, I think we're about 90%, aren't we, winning games? When we out-rebound people, we're about 90% winning games. I never claimed to be very smart, but 90% is good. And, if playing hard, you can accomplish those things even if you don't shoot it well, because you're not going to shoot it well every night. And that's probably what I've been disappointed in. When we don't hit shots, we give in to it. And again, that's another sign of a poorly coached team. You don't play hard and you give into it, you either got a bad coach or he's not getting through to his players. And so, disappointed, myself, and because those kind of efforts, those hurt. Now, that hurts your program. And so to see him respond like that, is great. It's great, but consistency, maturity, toughness, what are we going to do Wednesday at Cal, which has traditionally been a tough place for us to play, or Stanford, which is a tough place for us to play.
So those are sort of the things that are, you mentioned maturity, those are sort of the things that when you have a heavy freshman group can come across. And 4 years ago when Will and Francis and CJ and all those guys were freshmen, that was a frustrating year, but you had a lot of freshmen, and Bowl and Lou and those guys. Hayden was a junior. This is not a heavy freshman group. So why has it been that, injury aside, that's been a challenge?
Well, that's part of it. And, you know, Dante and Will are really the guys who've been around. Nate, you know, Jermaine hadn't been around. Valdo's 1 year. Keyshawn's new. Brennan's new. Khalil's new. You know, yeah, we got some old guys. A lot of them haven't been here. You know, but that's going to be part of it moving forward, James. You're not going to have a Final Four team that guys 3 and 4 years were together. You know, I just college basketball's changed, and you're going to have guys coming and going. But yeah, we got some old guys, but you know, Jermaine hadn't been out there. Keyshawn out 6 weeks. Jermaine out 10 weeks. Nate's been out. And I know that's an excuse. But to answer your question, those guys haven't been here. You know, when we had some things that we took pride in, those guys have been here for a few years. You know, and that consistency, you know, was there. And but you know, they were challenged today, and they played awfully well because Arizona's a really good team, and you know, we just played really good today. I'm not sure that they played poorly. I just think we played really good.
Considering the opponent and the context of what this game meant, like would it be out of turn to say that what you got from Dante tonight was as impactful as what you've gotten from a 5? And
no doubt. No, 22 and 10. 9 for 11, 4 for 4 from the line, 2 blocks, 3 steals. No, absolutely. He was really good. I mean, he and Jermaine, you know, Will was solid, but he and Jermaine, you know, just got us that separation. I mean, 9 for 11, and Jermaine, like I said, 6 for 9, 9 for 14. You know, offensively, those guys really separated us, but defensively, it was everybody. And even if we wouldn't have shot it so well tonight, I think defensively we'd have been right there.
When they tied the game up at like 45 seconds into the second half, I think you guys went on like a 12-3 run. What got you guys back into that groove?
Jermaine hit a 3, right? You know, they hit 2 3. Jermaine hit 1, kind of got us, you know. And so, no, we needed a bucket there. You know, if they go boom, 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 you know, it would really put a damper in it. But no, we got a couple buckets down and then got the energy going again defensively. But like I said, yeah, rebound somebody by 10. I know you guys get tired of hearing it. You've been around me too long. But yeah, rebound somebody by 10. And, you know, their shooting percentages 37, 36. You know, hold somebody under 40% and hold them under 70. You know, the formula doesn't change for the University of Oregon. You know, that's who we are. And so we won a lot of games playing really poor offensively, but just focused on those 2 things.
How do you make sure that this matters going forward? I mean, we saw you guys get a big win over Utah last weekend and then turn around to Arizona State. How do you?
Oh, there's no guarantees. I mean, those guys are going to have to, you know, come like with that edge that they came with Friday and Saturday. You know, there's, like I said after the game the other night, it's in the locker room. Coaching staff's not going to change. We're not going to change our preparation. You know, we can't change 31 times for 31 games. It's, you know, this next game. We got to stay the same. You know, you think, well, we were more fired up. We didn't do anything different. Well, we prepared the same way. Didn't scream and yell at them. Didn't practice for 2 hours yesterday. We took the same amount of time that we always do. Did the same things we always do. They made the adjustment. And they played their tail off. And Dante was really good, and Jermaine was really good, but the rest of the guys defensively really played well.
That's a head coach who was very honest, sharing about his drive to clear his mind after a tough loss to Arizona State. And then, like all good leaders, he always takes the blame when something goes wrong and credits others, his players, when things go right. That's Dana Altman for you in a nutshell. Happy, though, after that win. Now I got to keep it up. When we come back, let's hear a little bit from Jermaine Couisnard and Fale Dante and Quincy Guerrier postgame on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
The United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and the largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. The USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal agencies with free safety equipment donations and officer survival training, along with cash donations to families of law enforcement officers who perish in the line of duty, college scholarships for the children of law enforcement, a citizen awareness program, and more. For more information on the USDSA and how you can help, visit usdeputy.org.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Heard from Coach Altman, brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. We continue talking about that big win over Arizona, getting ready for the matchup with Cal tomorrow. Jermaine Couisnard and Vali Dante, they were carrying the team really throughout the entire game and allowed them to get that separation. Both of those players met with the media post-game after the big win over Arizona.
Dante, I see you as kind of a happy warrior on the court most of the time, but today just felt like a warrior. I mean, were you particularly charged up for this matchup, motivated by this matchup at all?
Oh, yeah, he was. I think that was kind of pressing up on me today. The other big guy was from Mali, and then I'm from Mali, so I just want to get it done. And then I had mindset before a game, like we played them last year, they beat us by 3, so not happening here, so just had to.
Jermaine, can you just provide the context of Dante's dunk, that second one, and just what that brought to the team?
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm gonna lie, I think that just like got us going. I know we was pressing earlier, so we seen like they was loose with the ball, and we seen that him come down the lane and do that. But like they gave us a lot of confidence.
Jermaine, as one of the veterans on this team, how do you guys make sure that this win means something going forward? We saw the big win last week against Utah, then the turnaround against Arizona State. How do you make sure to bottle this momentum and go forward with it?
We just can't slack. Like, we just can't come in practice on Monday and just think, like, because we beat a good team, that is good for us. So we just got to keep building every day. I feel like.
Dante said Thursday, we got to come back Saturday afternoon and it'll be a different team. You guys did it. What was it? What was the process of kind of regrouping from Thursday and putting together a performance like this?
Well, everybody was pissed already. I was not having it. I have a rough time after the game on Friday, and I feel like everybody was feeling the same way. So we came to practice, and everybody was pissed about it. And then we decided to show if we show the way we capable of playing, I think we can get a lot. We really good. So I'm glad everybody responded,
Jermaine, it seemed like you were, saying some words to Arizona players after some of those threes. Just what are the words that you exchanged with those guys as you were firing up?
I can't say it on him, but But nah, they was just chippy. They was playing dirty. They was hitting me on cuts, just like when I wasn't in the play, just trying to get me to start talking. And I guess that's what they got. So.
Jermaine, a guy who missed a bunch of time, and so you kind of saw from the sideline the roller coaster this team's been going through. You know, this is the first week, kind of everybody you thought you'd need is finally available. What was it like having to watch the struggles, but then to get a sense now of who you guys might actually could be?
It was a difficult time. I just learned myself better, just how I can fit in on this team and just what we need, and just just picking guys up when they having bad moments of the game. So that's I know, like me been around the block for a long time. That's what we're gonna need on this team. So.
Dante, what's the feeling in that locker room right now? Is it happiness? Is it relief? Is there a sense of frustration that you guys know you can play this well and it's taken this long for it to come out?
I mean, both. For me, I mean, honestly, I know about myself. I don't know about everybody, but the way everybody's in the locker room, we're all happy about this game. But the second thing that I say, I'm not happy because I know what we're capable of doing. Some days we show, sometimes we don't. That's something I talked about them. And for me as leader, I gotta just demand more. Like, we gotta get ready for every single game. All the games are really important. So I'm gonna use my vocal more now.
Jermaine, it's clear you guys don't lack talent on this team. How do you string together more performances like this one?
Just stacking days on days, just giving players confidence. Even I know every day is not gonna be somebody's day or going some certain day. Like, we're not gonna be making shots like you seen early. So we just gotta stay together and just keep building and just play a lot of defense together. That's what's gonna bring us closer to tougher times.
What was going through your head on the alley-oop turn 3-pointer?
Oh man, oh no! I just seen him streaking down the middle of the floor, and I just thought he had a lead, but I guess I threw it too hard. So and went in. We'll take it. We might need him to shoot like that again.
Sort of just feel at that point like this is one of those days where everything's
that was the shot that did it for me. I knew that was one of those days. Yeah, definitely.
Dana said you guys didn't change anything between, or like he didn't change the way, like practice or the way he addressed you. He said it was you guys turning something. Can you kind of like explain that a little bit and like how you guys did Dana not actually change anything between?
We came in, did the same practice we do, like after every game, and we just came together as a team, just talked amongst each other, and we know we better than that. What we showed on Thursday, so I feel like it was a team effort for everybody.
Were there times like with you and Keith out together? Did you ever have conversations like, man, just wait? People will see kind of who this team can be once we get back. I mean, I'm sure there was frustration missing some time, but also once we get back, then we'll find out who we really are.
For sure. I feel like that was everybody. Like, we just knew, we just had to play with the players we had. And just, I know, man, Key just like an older guards on the team, so we got a lot of experience. So, yeah, we definitely talk about it a lot.
Dante, if you had a chance to check your phone after the game, getting blown up a lot about the dunk or anything?
Shoot. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I haven't checked it yet, but, I'm not ready for it.
What's it feel like to do that?
Well, I don't want to be...
do it.
Well, the guy who's in front of me, he pissed me off, so I was like, I'm going to just go for it. I feel great, especially someone you don't like it so much, so just make him look embarrassing.
Does that date back to last year's matchup in Tucson with him? You said he pissed you off. Is it just the way he plays that kind of had you guys irritated?
He just be talking crap, call you a name and stuff, so it's just what it is.
One of the things Coach said he was frustrated about the other night was a lack of fouls, that it just showed kind of a lack of intensity and a lack of deflections. I wonder, when he seemed committed to playing more guys early in this game. Was there a sense that you guys could cut it loose a little bit more, that you could go harder because you weren't, not everybody had to play 40 minutes like maybe a couple weeks ago?
Well, I know about myself. I mean, other game, Arizona State, right? Yeah. When we played them, I was just worried about fouling, and it didn't help us. I decided to just you know what, I'm gonna just do whatever my team need to win the game. So I was just being more aggressive about ball screaming and rebounding.
Jermaine, any thoughts along those lines? Did that free you guys up to just cut it loose a little bit more in this one compared to the other one?
Yeah, it definitely did. He told us to just play hard, we're going to get quick subs, and just leave it all out there for as many minutes we get to play. And I feel like everybody did their job tonight, and we did that.
Jermaine, do you think the change in the starting lineup had any impact on effort levels tonight, or people just kind of try and play for the minutes more?
Not wrong. It probably didn't. Just more activity. We just needed more activity. Like, we started the games off flat, and then I feel like when we start flat, it's not a good look for us. So I feel like we want to get ourselves going more, like get out and run, so get active. So I feel like that's what it was about.
Jermaine, when you were, making that decision to come transfer here, if someone had told you, 18 games into the season that you guys would be playing for NCAA tournament lives, like, what would your reaction be?
I told him they lie. I feel like we just started, so like we can't control what happened to us at the beginning of the year, so we just had to man up and just ride with the guys we got. So now that we full battle, so we just take it game by game.
Jermaine, the veteran guys in particular certainly recognize where you guys find yourselves. How do you try to replicate this, especially this next week, where these next two opponents, I'm taking anything away from them, but you guys have no margin for error. You can't afford a loss against either one of these teams. So how do you try to replicate this? And you can't afford a down game in the Bay Area. So how do you try to replicate this effort?
Just building, just filming. Even if we're not making shots, I feel like we played defense tonight. So just we see what we do when we play defense. Shots are gonna fall for us. So we get stops. I feel like we'll be in good shape.
Talking off the hardwood video about like you being a leader, what are some steps you're taking now that you're back on the court, and kind of are you moving into that role? What are some things you're saying in the
Been like just fitting in where I'm supposed to, just little things I see out there, just saying something, or just feel me, if somebody down on themselves, just bring them up. That's what I like doing.
A lot of good stuff there from Jermaine Couisnard and N'Faly Dante. A pair of difference-making players. It was impressive what they did against Arizona. But now you heard him talking about it. Have to replicate it against Cal. Got to get up for a big game against Cal, because every game's big now. The margin for error is pretty thin. When we come back, a little bit from Quincy Guerrier post-game, including his pronunciation of his own name. It's been debated hotly. That when we come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, the official 2022 Oregon football trading cards are now available exclusively at your local Oregon Jackson's food stores. The cards feature over 100 of your favorite Duck football student athletes from the 2022 season. Each pack contains 14 cards, and 1 out of every 10 packs will contain a special edition signed card, so be sure to collect them all to complete your set. Visit Jacksons.com for store locations.
Jacksons. Let's go.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Quincy Guerrier, I got the chance to catch up with him on the postgame show. So you heard N'Faly Dante and Jermaine Couisnard talking with the general media in the press room. This was part of the postgame show, if you missed it. I thought Quincy just did a great job summing up what the team had been through. Great conversation postgame with Quincy Guerrier. Take fans through it. What did it take tonight?
I mean, we were locked in today. We talked about it. It was a really tough loss on Thursday, but we didn't come to play, on Thursday, and we didn't show up, no energy or nothing. So, we just focused on their players, the scouting report, and we just came out here with energy. The crowd really helped us today, and we were pretty happy about the result.
No doubt. How about the energy? You talked about the energy early. Forcing some turnovers.
Oh, yeah.
Dante throws it down. I mean,
for sure.
How much does that help your game?
When you play well defensively, and I think we had like 51 deflections, that's a game changer, It gives us energy, and then for the other team, it bring them down. So Dante did a tremendous job. Everyone played well today, defensively, and obviously Jermaine hit some tough shots, and Dante did his thing, and we're just happy about the result.
So that's not an assist on the three that he hit from midcourt, right?
He tried to lob it, but end up with a half-court shot. So I know when he hit that shot that everything was about to go well for the rest of the game.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that just like it's just good karma, I guess?
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And like I said, we have to come out every game and play the way we played today, and we got to stay together. Basketball's a game of runs, and they made a run at some point. We made a run, and we kept fighting, kept staying together, and then we're happy about what happened.
I talked about this on the broadcast, Quincy, that you guys have a 6-point lead. They come out, Ramey hits a couple threes. It's 43-43.
Yeah.
And then you guys go on a 10-0 run.
Yeah.
After that, I mean, what was going through the team's mind? In that
I think, like I said, it was our focus. Like I just said, it's a game of run, and we didn't let that affect us. We focused and we hit shots back, and that really helps when we hit shots. But like I said, our defense was tremendous tonight, and we're ready for the next one.
See, that's the million-dollar question now, right? How do you maintain it over the next few weeks?
I mean, you watch film. Some guys, go talk to the coaches and watch film to see what we can do better, because there's still stuff that we could have done better. We're never perfect, but, we're going on the road. We know it's always tough to play on the road. Cal is their record don't show that we're a really good team, but they're a good team. We have to respect every team in the conference, and we just got to be ready and then locked in on the scouting report, and we'll be fine.
Lastly, when you got here, we had a French pronunciation of your name.
Yeah.
And then we also had the American pronunciation of your name. This year, I've done my best. I want you to know this.
Yeah.
I've done my best to get the French pronunciation for you. Okay. Say your name in the way you want it said so that fans know it forevermore right now.
Guerrier.
See, I got it right this year.
Guerrier, yeah.
I got it right. So where'd that come from? Like, have you always dealt with that your entire life? The just different
a
pronunciations?
little bit, yeah. Because my name obviously is French.
Right.
Guerrier means warrior.
Ah.
Yeah, in English. But sometimes some people were saying like Guerrier,
right.
And it's Guerrier, so Guerrier.
Well, I'm the first to say I don't have a good French accent.
Yeah.
I could never act in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right? I can't do it. So that's why I just asked you. But I got it right on the highlights for you this year. Don't worry.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So when Carter puts together the video today, it'll be.
Yes, it sounds
it's
good.
Going to be right.
Sounds good.
Hey, when you play well, you have to get stuck talking with me. Thanks for taking the time.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate it, Quincy.
Yep.
Congrats on
Thank
the win.
you.
Okay, we have confirmation. He said it on the Oregon Sports Network now. The backstory there is that people had been saying it differently, so he had a conversation with myself and Will Patterson. We were like, okay, we're solving this once and for all. So I just figured, well, we're going to have you say it on the air. It's recorded forever. When we come back, women's basketball, a split, dramatic ending to a game. Going to recap it when we come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota's got 20 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action, and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/22.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Dear winter, Toyota's got 20 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action, and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/22.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force many times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
We're back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Women's basketball on Friday. A tough rivalry game. Taya Hansen, 4 of 4 from 3. Ducks ended up taking down a good Washington team. And then against Washington State, just a wild game. Ducks came back from 14 down with less than 5 to play against Wazoo. Made a big comeback in the final seconds. Made a 3 with 3.4 seconds left. Ducks got a steal at midcourt. And Elise Hurst hit a 3 that would have given the Ducks a 1-point lead, but the clock didn't start. It was an error with the way the clock operated. So, okay, the clock got reset to 0.6 seconds. Ducks inbounded to Van Sluten. Missed a hook, but was fouled. And then Grace Van Sluten, being the baller that she is, hits them both. We're going to overtime. Ducks were down 1 after a 3 from Tina Paopao, 12.8 to go. Got a steal again, and I'm going, okay, this time it's going to work out. Kelly Graves took a timeout. Tina Paopao had a look from the free throw line, but it didn't go, and the Ducks fell 85-84. And it's like, ugh. I cannot be the only one that had that reaction. I got to tell you, though, I was actually watching the game and listening to Terry and Bev. And Bev said it immediately. When the clock had that malfunction, didn't start, said it immediately, and she thought that it was handled right, that the official stopped play, had to figure it out. It's unfortunate, though, because Elise Hurst did hit that 3. God. Kelly Graves, some of his thoughts post-game after the split of the weekend for Oregon women's basketball.
Well, we certainly have a disappointed locker room, and I told them I'm really proud of the fight that we had and the heart that we played with, certainly down the stretch in regulation, and then, as poorly as we played at times, had a chance to win the game. That's all you can ask. And, it's disappointing, but we just didn't have enough players have good games tonight. And but credit Wazoo. They came in and they played hard, man. They have a plan. They play to that plan. Those kids, better than any other team in the conference, know and execute their roles. And they made the plays down the stretch, and we didn't. But I love the heart we played with. I'm really proud of our kids.
Back to you looking for a new game clock operator.
Well, yeah, I can't say anything about that. It's just disappointing that they, I think like the NFL, they kind of let it play itself through, and that's what probably should have happened in that case. But I don't know. They're selfless workers down there. I certainly don't blame that. I blame our defense at times. That's what lost the game. Lack of focus from time to time.
What was the explanation, I guess, just for those who couldn't see on the shot clock operator, or the clock operator, what was the explanation?
Well, that I think the clock stopped or something, maybe inadvertently, and that referee felt like he needed to rectify it, or I don't know. But I don't think the time changed, did it?
Sort of. It paused at 3 seconds. The shot that didn't happen.
I don't know. Nobody explained it to me at the time, so I didn't even know what the hell they were looking for.
Kelly, what was the play that was drawn up for just the final shot?
Yeah, just a little middle ball screen, and for Indy, she'd been hot. I figured she might get something. She's got a great floater game. I thought if nothing else, she would draw some attention, and she did. And Grace was the secondary option on the roll, and then third option was Tahina filling behind, and we ended up getting, or not Philly, Tahina. And I thought we actually got a pretty good look at it, maybe a little rushed in traffic, but for the most part, we executed it well. We wanted the ball in Indy's hands. She had such a great game, and I figured she would make the right play. I was blocked out, though, by the referee, so I couldn't actually really see, if she was open off that middle ball screen.
It's made a lot harder for her in terms of finishing at the hoop, not just throughout the game, but especially late when Philly was out, where if you don't have a big in there to either clog up the lane or take a defender away, that a team like that is just going to be able to block her and send multiple defenders at her fast.
Yeah, I was disappointed mostly in our interior defense. I mean, I know they got some block shots and things like that. I think we've got to do a better job of kind of initiating contact when we do go to the basket, so we get to the line. And they called some of those late. They didn't call them the first 3 or 4 quarters. So, we've got to adjust to that.
You could hear it in Coach Graves' voice. And the rest of the interview's on the GoDucks YouTube, by the way, the post-game. I mean, certainly a frustrated locker room, but, it's so funny. Like, it's never just one thing, right? Like, sure, that one sequence is unfortunate. It doesn't work out for the Ducks. But as Coach Graves said, like, he wasn't happy with the defense on multiple plays throughout the game. Maybe there's not even a conversation about Elise Hurst 3 at the end of the game. That's what happens in sports a lot of the time. But now, for the Ducks, they've split 3 straight weekends, heading to Corvallis on Friday. Big game. Both teams kind of in similar spots in terms of needing a big win. Oregon now sitting at 4-3 in conference, but the Ducks are still very strong in the net. Number 12 in the net rankings for Oregon women's basketball. There's no doubt, though, that our Toyota Women's Sport Schedule Spotlight, Toyota Let's Go places, Friday night, Corvallis. That's a huge, huge game. Huge game. Meanwhile, Oregon track and field, the indoor season officially began. Ducks with a couple school records. Pretty good start to the indoor season. Always a little bit odd the way the indoor season starts. Split squad in different parts of the state of Washington this week, sometimes different parts of the country. Full recap is available on GoDucks.com. Also, Duck baseball. We're 31 days away from first pitch, number 25 in the preseason top 25. Tip-off Tuesday coming up.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by